Another session of the Coaching Corner on VCN. We're going to go down to Orange County in just a second and check in with Rob Adams, who's doing a Q&A. Want to remind you, if you want to be on VCN and do the New Kid in Town segment that we've been doing lately, send us an email to the virtualchannelnetwork.com or the actorsworkshop.com. We'd love to have you come in. Cost you nothing. Doing it for you. A little exposure isn't going to hurt a thing in this business. So let's go down to Orange County. Rob Adams with some Q&A. Rob.
All right, well, let's get right to the questions. Anybody have a question for me today? Yes, Alicia.
Hey, Rob. I'm on LA Casting, and out of the blue, I got a call from the Zanuck agency. What do you think about them? What do you know about them?
Sometimes having no agent is better than having an agent on your resume that is a bad agent. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of actors out there, and they're targeting you. That's a red flag. I mean, those are things you have to look at and go, wait a second, this doesn't seem right. I look into who's approaching me or who I'm approaching. I'll Google them, I'll IMDb them, I will do my research. Maybe the name, scam, or whatever when I'm Googling it, and that way it's going to bring up a bunch of information on who I'm dealing with.
If you're seeking an agent, how often should you send your headshot to them?
What does it matter what frequency is? Send it every day, send it every week. What does it matter? I mean, there is no acting police that someone's going to come take you away to acting jail. What does it matter? You know what I mean? What I always tell people, first off, the best agent for you at the beginning is you. Nobody's going to push you more. No one's going to promote you more. And the more that you do and the more that people see you, the more the agents are going to recognize who you are. Then it's going to be easy to be getting an agent. But if you have experience, and you have some years underneath you, and you're a union actor and you want to pursue it, then you submit and you know, target those ones that specifically work for you and not for just doing mass mailings. I've never been one for mass mailings. I always try to target specific agencies that work within what I do.
We're supposed to be ourselves. How do we play a character?
You are the character. That's why they hired you. That's why they brought you in. You have to find that within you and use you. I mean, that's the whole point of it, is that every person has their unique personality that makes them their own character. So you don't become anything. You are it. I don't act like a murderer. Ted Bundy never acted like a killer. He just was one. It's what he did. That's why the book about him is called The Stranger Beside Me, because people didn't know that side of him. We all have different sides that people don't know. And those are the parts that we need to bring out to show people, to make it believable in those moments. If they call it character, they call it character, but it's in you. It's not a character. I am the character. I am a character. If you use yourself, you get depth and definition. If you try to play a character, you lose all of that. Okay? All right, anybody else have a question? Yes, Melissa?
I have a question about auditions. Let's say you go to an audition and the reader, ideally you want the reader to like play with you, but let's say the reader is just like reading the lines, like very monotone, like, and you can, how would you show, like, you're yourself, but I don't know, how would you play off that person?
Well, that goes back to what we just talked about with the previous question. That's where you get your energy choice. Because I'm not working off of somebody else, I have to come in with my energy choice, understanding the material and making an energy choice accordingly, and then going with that. And that's where it's different between working with another actor and working with a casting director or someone that's a non-actor. I always tell my actors, it's not an acting choice. An acting choice would be playing it. It's an energy choice. But at the same time, you have to know what you're going in to read for. Part of what they're looking for is, do you know what you're talking about? Do you know what the material is about? So you have to know that, but I still have to go in with an energy choice, not an acting choice. All right, next question.
Yeah, how do I get better with cold readings?
Well, it goes back to every single thing that we learn, and that is listening. The better listener you are, the more you watch, the easier cold readings become. The problem with cold readings is actors make the cold reading more important than they make the other person. And because of that, they become boring, they become reciting lines to the other person rather than dealing with the other person. You got to listen, you got to watch, and make that script secondary. Now, that does not mean make it up. It just means that's a secondary thing. The person in front of me and listening and watching is the most important thing. And then cold readings become a lot easier. Okay, so next week, is the segment New Kid in Town. And if any of you are interested in being a part of that, go ahead and drop me an email at theactorsworkshop@cox.net. Until then, I'm Rob Adams, and we'll see you next week.